The interview was too complicated, but I would say it's too interesting as well. They are pretty interested in how the student is able to answer if we can make small changes in the question. The academic process here at IITG may have helped many students, but not in my case. Before coming to IITG, I was not aware of this competitive coding at all. But later on, I realized that using these sheets is not that helpful. But for some reason, the professor is not satisfied at all. I couldn't do anything better. I couldn't impress this sir. So let's leave this. As I already mentioned that I was very poor student in data structures and problem solving in my first semester. I gave the interview at morning 4 o'clock. And after completing both of my interview rounds, it was around 8 am. But till 11 am, they did not disclose the results.
Like after pursuing your B.Tech in VIT, what made you to make a decision to come here and pursue M.Tech?
But the only disappointment I have is, I dreamt of becoming an IAS right from my childhood. At one point, I was like completely thinking whether I was doing completely wrong by selecting a bold route of coming into GATE.
Hi, so today we are having Narendra with us. Narendra is placed in Qualcomm and he is my friend and classmate. So we are going to take interview of his experience at IITG and his overall M.Tech experience and his placement journey. So I'll be asking Narendra with his introduction. Narendra, could you please introduce yourself briefly to the audience, and also please say what is the placement process that you have been through. Just give a brief of it.
Hi Karthik and hi audience. My name is Narendra. I am placed in Qualcomm. So coming into the placement journey, in IIT Guwahati there will be a portal where every company will be registering and student will be given an opportunity based on their CGPA whether to register for it or not. Once they register for a company, then there will be online assessment followed by a shortlisting process. Then they can have an opportunity to give an interview. So similarly, I have registered for many companies. Qualcomm is one of them. I have cleared the Qualcomm online assessment. Then I have got an opportunity to give the interview. Then it went well.
So Narendra, could you please walk us through your interview process, like from initial application process to the final interview, like till the place where you got the offer letter?
Coming to the process, so I have registered for Qualcomm in the portal, and then there is a online assessment which has lasted for 45 minutes, and the online assessment is completely based on MCQs which were related to the subjects of computer organization and few other topics. So once we cleared the test, we got an shortlisting after 15 to 20 days. So there were few shortlisted candidates, and we got a mail from Qualcomm office telling us to register on a separate website. So once we registered there, they told the timings and the interview when it will be scheduled and the person who will be interviewing us. On the day of interview, it started at morning 4 o'clock. So we were ready at 3:30 am only. Then the interview of mine lasted for 1 hour 20 minutes in the first round and 30 minutes in the second round. So the first round is technical interview. In 1 hour 20 minutes, the first 40 minutes they have grilled me on my projects only, and the next 40 minutes is completely based on my GATE subject, especially CO. They were very interested in computer organization and how deeply I can answer them. They started from a high level cache implementation, and then they started asking how we are going to use it, and they went till the registers level. The interview was too complicated, but I would say it's too interesting as well. The depth they have taken, they did not go directly into that depth, but they went step by step. It's amazing.
So Narendra, you said there is one technical round and maybe one HR round, 30 minutes HR round. So could you please say us, like, is there any DSA questions that are being asked in your technical interview? And if so, what are the DSA questions that are being asked in your technical interview?
There is just one DSA question which is being asked in my technical interview. The question is how to implement LRU cache. It is very simple, but they have asked a lot of questions after this, like why only you are using single node to implement this, and why not vector? How can the cache hits vary if we use vector? And they are pretty interested in how the student is able to answer if we can make small changes in the question, like if the pattern is being changed, or if I don't allow him to use this particular thing. So they just want to see the creative thinking in us. So there was just one DSA question and no more other questions. Like
So the key takeaway here is like they are testing our problem solving skills, his problem solving skills. Basically, if he can adapt to the situation, like given a scenario, if he can adapt to a situation, then they were considering him as a good student. So he somehow managed, or he somehow impressed them in that particular aspect. So they have considered him as a good fit for their company. So Narendra, going ahead, did your academic coursework that you have done in IITG, is it well equipped you with respect to the placement process? How well your coursework helped you in this overall placement experience or placement process throughout your journey? Could you please say something about that thing?
the academic process here at IITG may have helped many students, but not in my case, because after coming to IITG, we have learned many things related to machine learning, which is not basically my domain in the company. So the next thing is DS is always there in as a subject in our course curriculum, but we did not give that preference to it until we knew that it is really important.
Okay, Narendra. So let's get into some personal experiences of you in IITG. I know you personally. When you come to IITG, I have seen you. You were not well equipped with the DSA when you come here. Like you were so-called noob in DSA when you come here. So gradually you progress well and you become hero. Like from zero you became hero in DSA. So could you please run us through the process of becoming from zero to hero in DSA? What are all the steps that you have taken, or what are all the measures that you have taken to adapt to that particular situation in becoming a hero in DSA?
Before coming to IITG, I was not aware of this competitive coding at all. But I would not say that I am not aware of problem solving. Right from school only, I was very interested in problem solving and solving complex problems. But the thing is, I am not into DSA. I am not aware of these implementations or using these things, all this stuff. But once I came in the first semester, as you know that we are having a data structures lab. But I haven't taken that subject that seriously. So I just tried to pass in that subject. I got just 6. But after that semester, I realized that it is really important for our placement process and next steps. So then I took advices from few friends. You are one of them, and you told me that DS you need to first understand how they work, and then you need to do continuous problem solving. So once you explained me how to search problems on lead code and how can you select the levels and then all this stuff, and one of our friends told how to use the Geeks for Geeks platform. So what I did is I have completed the DSA self-paced course in Geeks for Geeks, and then I started solving problems. Initially I used few sheets like Lovebubber and Striver sheets, but later on I realized that using these sheets is not that helpful, because initially we will be knowing the topic, so we will be thinking in the same direction only. So if we already know the data structure, there is no point in solving the question. Then I started solving questions randomly. Later on, my problem solving skills went really well. Even I did not estimate that I would be going to that level, but it helped me a lot in the placement scenario or whatever it is.
You didn't expect that you will become that much problem solving person, but we know how much hard work you have done in whole process, like how many problems you used to solve daily. We have seen you being solving all those problems, and it's a very good journey, I would say. So Narendra, let's talk about bit of your MTP thesis, master's thesis project. Again, as we know you personally, we have seen closely like you struggled your initial days of your master's thesis project. you really struggled, like at a particular point you thought of leaving this particular master thesis and leaving the campus for that matter. Like what made you to run into that situation and how you overcome that particular situation and progressed in your MTP thesis, and now you were able to submit your thesis fine. Like what is the journey that is been involved in that particular process? Just give a glimpse of it to the audience.
So Karthik, as you know, master thesis project is compulsory for every M.Tech student who is graduating from IITs. So similarly, I have been guided by a professor, but in the initial days, I used to face a lot of issues regarding the same thing. The thing is, when the professor gives me a task, I used to submit the professor on time. But for some reason, the professor is not satisfied at all. So the professor used to search some reason to bash me. So in the initial days, I thought that it was a bad day for the sir. So it might be the effect that is being shown on me. But later on, I don't know, for some reason, after every meeting, I was like, I couldn't do anything better. I couldn't impress this sir. So let's leave this. At one point, I tried changing my professor also, but it didn't work for me. But later on, sir used to understand that I am keeping constant efforts. So then he realized that there is no point of scolding me. But it is too late that sir realized that point, that I have faced few traumas, and then it's too hard for me to tackle that phase. But it's fine now. And now I have produced all the result, and sir is happy with my work.
Very great to hear from you that you were able to overcome the situations, hardships that you come across your thesis project, and also your professor is happy. And I want to say to audience that it might be the case that even if you are sometimes very good with all the skills, even though then there might be the case that the other person is not good enough to understand your situation. Like it can be the case that he might scold you for no reason. But even though it is good that you keep your constant amount of effort in the whole process and overcoming such situations, it's so Narendra, starting we together have some controversies in the college, I would say. Like we went to DPPC of our college to allow us for internships. Basically we were not allowed to the internships in the college. So we went to DPPC and we asked him to allow for internship, and fortunately our juniors got the opportunity to attend the internships. Maybe some part of our like going into DPPC and asking him might help these students to get their opportunity. Like could you please talk something about that particular aspect, and so that like what made you to go there? And you also said that I'll leave the these TA ship, I'll leave my 12,000 money, it is no matter. And I know you are not that well equipped with DSA and some skills that are required for placement back then. Even then, what made you to take bold decision back then?
The first point I would like to mention is, in coming up into IITG for M.Tech, we will be getting 12,400 stipend for every month. So if we lose the stipend, then we will be losing around 3 lakhs for the whole grade of M.Tech. Then the situation which taught me, like which made me think that okay, leaving this 3 lakhs may be worthy, is if I could do internship in a better company, and which makes my resume even more stronger, it would be worth it that I would be getting into a big MNC which will worth me more than 3 lakhs in the future upcoming years. So the step which I thought that at that time is, okay, I have 3 months of time, but we are not allowed for internships. So once I will go to DPPC and then talk that okay, I won't be taking this 3 lakhs in the entire duration of my M.Tech, but I just need the permission to sit in the placements for interview. So I mentioned the same thing. Then he told few other things to do and we did it. But finally he hasn't accepted the situation. But it's fine that our juniors got the internships. if we could have got the chance to sit in the placements, based on the knowledge that I have regarding subjects or the data structure problem solving skills, I would not get an internship, but it would be a good experience, like how to tackle the interviews or else something else.
Maybe some other
Yeah,
student
some
might
other
get
some other students might get the opportunity. So it would be a helpful thing for the batchmates also. So I tried in that perspective, but it didn't work in our case.
So Narendra, in our first year M.Tech, we people get some semester holidays, like semester breaks. After our first semester finished, we get December month full of these holidays, and again we get second semester from January to May, and again some 2 months of holidays, and then resume the coursework. But we know that in M.Tech first year, December holidays, like 1 month of holidays, you haven't went to home. We all went to home and we took some rest. But we know that you haven't went to home because of some personal reasons. So that helped you a lot in this whole process, I would say. I know personally, audience also want to know, like, in that particular duration of 1 month, how you were able to use that particular amount of time productively, so that people also can like follow the strategies that you have used in your leisure time. So could you please give a glimpse of that particular aspect?
The only thing I skipped everything for is data structures. As I already mentioned that I was very poor student in data structures and problem solving in my first semester. I thought I was way behind the other students and my batchmates and friends comparatively. So I thought it is not a good time to go to home and have some entertainment programs. So I went back and I thought, what could I do better? I thought skipping my holidays and investing time in data structures would be really helpful. Then I told my parents I won't be coming home this time. Then we can have time later on. Then they told okay. So in 1 month duration, I took it very seriously. I planned my day very comfortably. As I already told that I discussed with you and other friends what can I do regarding the platforms. So every day morning I used to watch few videos of the self-paced course. Followed by that I used to do some problems. Then in 15-20 days I completed the entire course. Few videos are left, but then it's a really good course. Later on the next 10 days I tried to solve some sheets, but I found it's not helpful at all. Then I stopped following all the sheets and I tried to do the problems randomly. But the main thing is we need to put continuous efforts when we are trying to do something we are a bit back seated. So compared to my batchmates or friends, everyone, I was very lacking in problem solving. So I need to invest time, I need to get some break so that I could join them or I could excel in that particular comparatively. So that's why I have skipped the holidays and stayed here. That's it.
So the key takeaway here is sometimes you need to sacrifice your happiness for the things that you want in a long run. Like it is very much important, and that's what Narendra have done his first year of M.Tech. He sacrificed his vacation and he prepared very hardly and very rigorously, I would say, in his vacation. That helped him a lot, I would say. And we some of us still regret that we could have not gone to that vacation. We could have used that vacation more productively. So that taught us a lesson actually, and it helped us to learn from that particular incident, I would say. So Narendra, with that we'll move forward. So in your interview process, we know that initially you give an interview to Qualcomm, and then based on your feedback or some other circumstances happening over there, you are a bit demotivated. We know that. So you went to some other company, maybe Samsung, I guess, and you sat very sadly there. Like what actually happened in that particular scenario? if such scenarios come to a particular student, how should he handle that scenario? Like, let's say he was not placed in a company 1, he should not get demotivated to company 2. Like, he should handle the way that he handled the company 1 in the company 2 as well. How should he get progress in that particular situation? Just give an idea to the audience so that they will learn from that situation.
So the reason I was too demotivated that day is the interview of mine went really good. So I was damn sure that I did not make any mistake in the entire interview of the technical round, and he is really satisfied with my interview. After my interview, the interviewer came outside and told his teammates that the students here are really good. So I was like, okay, now I will be getting an offer. And basically, I told that it was my first interview, and I was like, okay, I gave my first interview and I will be placed with this one. But I gave the interview at morning 4 o'clock. And after completing both of my interview rounds, it was around 8 a.m. But till 11 a.m., they did not disclose the results. I was like, what happened to these guys? The interview went really well, and the HR is impressed also. The only thing I was thinking sitting in front of the Samsung interview is, did I make any mistake? I just realized that I talked a bit more about the location in front of HR. I was like, I should not have done that mistake. I should not have mentioned about the location issues or else something else. And what audience can do tackling this situation is, first they need to analyze what they have been doing these days. So they have been preparing for the interviews all these days, so they know their strong points, they know their weak points. So they need to analyze what I have done wrong in my strong areas. So let us assume someone's strong area may be coding. So how he has tackled about his coding skills in the interview. So if he has performed well in the coding skills, so then he should be giving credit to him, because his strong area is really good in perspective of interview. So he need to analyze what are all the mistakes he has done. So he just need to make a keynote of them, and then he need to believe that, okay, at least in my strong area I am performing well, so in the next interview at least I will be cracking it. So he need not be demotivated as I am. So it is really good. The experience is really good, and then but later on I got the offer, so I am happy for it.
So Narendra, I want to know a thing from you. Like, it is very hard for a typical student to solve 400, 500 problems in a given particular time consistently. Like, let's say they have solved 2 problems. If they were not able to solve the next 2 problems, they get demotivated. But I know you have solved around 800 problems in a month, which is not trivial and which is very like, it requires a lot of consistency, I would say. Is there a situation where you get demotivated after solving 2 questions and not able to solve the other 2 questions? Is there any situation have you ever encountered in your preparation, overall preparation?
To be honest, when it comes to problem solving, I don't get demotivated. I feel interesting. So whenever I could not solve a question, I feel it's really good that I did not cover this model, or it's a good thing that I could cover this model. So it feels always interesting to solve a problem. So keeping continuous efforts of 12 to 14 hours a day in coding, it is really easy for any student to complete 800 problems, or they can complete even more problems. The thing is, they don't need to get demotivated and takes every problem as a challenge, not like as a milestone he needs to achieve. So that would be pretty decent work he could do from his side.
So it's not definitely easy to solve 800 problems in 1 month, as you said. It depends on person to person, but you are fortunate enough to like go through the flow and grasp the things very fast, I would say. So Narendra, we know that you have done your B.Tech in VIT, which is a very top tier college, and but you made a decision to come and pursue M.Tech by giving GATE. Like, after pursuing your B.Tech in VIT, what made you to make a decision to come here and pursue M.Tech? Like, is that the thing that you haven't got something over there, or you think that you will get here, or what made you exactly to come and pursue this M.Tech?
Yeah, Karthik. I did my bachelor's in VIT, which is a really pretty good college. But the only disappointment I have is I dreamt of becoming an IAS right from my childhood. So the main motive which I did not sit in placements in VIT is I want to become an IAS officer. The reason why I gave GATE is not for getting into M.Tech in some IITs or getting placements there, but I thought of getting a government job and then doing the job for 2-3 years and then taking 2 long years leave. Then I thought of going to Delhi and joining a good coaching center thereafter, where I could give IAS entrance exam, civil services exam. So if I could not crack civil services exam in 2 years, at least with my preparation levels, which would be decent in those 2 years, I could get at least 5 to 6 years opportunity after coming back to my job. So in that case, I won't be losing a government job, and I could at least give a trial of my childhood dream, which is becoming an IAS officer. But later on, I gave GATE. I got central government job, but after getting job, I asked few people like my father or my aunt, some people. So they told that going into civil services and doing job there won't be that like that good comparative to the software job. So there were few key points which they have mentioned. So I thought of backing off from my goal. So then I thought, okay, I skipped my placements in VIT. What are all the opportunities that I have? Then I thought, okay, I'll go for M.Tech into some IIT and then go to some software job. That's the sole reason why I came to IIT.
So, it depends on person to person, like choosing career. Particularly, like it is good for some people to choose civil services or government jobs, and it is good for people sometimes to choose private jobs. It completely depends on a particular person. And here Narendra thought of doing, like initially he thought of doing to get into government job, and later he changed his mind to get into private jobs. If he could have tried for civil services, I am sure, like with the capability that he is having, he could have cracked, if not the next year, the maybe the following year. Like here the main key takeaway here is you could follow like whatever path you want to take, but you should be sincere in whatever path that you are choosing. Like he chose a private job path, and he is very sincere in that particular domain, and he excelled in that particular path. So I want people to take that as an inspiration and excel in the path that they are taking, and that as a motivation. So Narendra, moving ahead, how would you rate your overall experience at IITG pursuing M.Tech, and what is your total feedback or total outcome of your M.Tech journey here? Could you please compare with your B.Tech and give a conclusive result?
Rating IITG over VIT. So yeah, this is a really good question. So everything in IITG is really perfect. The environment or the competition, my friends, my circle, everything is really good. The only thing which is better in VIT is food. So it is decent in IITG, but it's really good in VIT. But the things I love here at IITG is the classroom environment. So everyone is having their own strategies, everyone is doing their own hard work, but no one is thinking like only I should succeed, but everyone is like, okay, I'll be helping my friends also, so they will also succeed. The helping nature is really good, and the positive vibe that they bring to the classroom, like bringing various challenges, all these things are really good in IITG compared to VIT. And the project thing, so 1 year completely dedicated for a thesis project is a really good idea where we had a BTP of 6 months, but the BTP here is for 1 year, and they could really do a worthful project in that 1 year. So there were few things which are really good in IITG, but there were few things which are good in VIT as well. Like the course curriculum keeps on updating, and there were even more subjects which students can pursue in their bachelors in VIT than IITG.
Okay.
So these were few aspects which there could be changes in both the institutes.
Okay.
But so overall, I'll be giving a bit more rating for IITG only.
That's great to hear, Narendra. So any advice for current or prospective M.Tech students, both academically and career in their career preparation? Like any advice that you could give to the people?
So the advice I would give to the students who are coming to M.Tech is just be bold with your decisions. So while I was preparing for GATE, the challenges I faced are like my friends were in the final year of B.Tech. So every day one guy used to call and tell that I got placed in this company and I am getting this much salary. Why you are skipping the placements in VIT? It's really good this year. You could get a better job here itself. Why you are taking risk in your life? But I was like, okay. At one point I was like completely thinking whether I was doing completely wrong by selecting a bold route of coming into GATE and doing all this stuff. But I backed myself. So the one advice I will give to everyone is just be bold with your decisions. Just don't think that everything is following a path. It is only the right path. Just think once again and back your decision. That's it.
So Narendra, could let us get into your preparation strategies and resources that you have used in your preparation. Like I know it is a very vast amount of resources, so I'll be putting again in this resource section. But even then, I want to know from you and audience to listen from you about all the resources and how they should go upon. Like strategies, basically strategies that should follow for that matter in DSA or in core subjects or like in overall placement process, I would say. Could you please give your preparation tips and preparation resources you have followed?
So the resources I followed are for C++ language. I followed a textbook where I learned the C++. Then later on, coming on to the data structures, I followed the self-paced course from GFG. And learning machine learning, I followed Srikanth Verma's course. And for practicing problems, I used CodeChef, then LeetCode as well as GFG. The problem selection is really simple. Just go select hard or medium questions, then don't look at the topic tag, don't look at the data structures tag. Just try to solve on your own intentions, like how you are able to reach the problem from naive method to really good algorithm. So coming on to the other resources for placements, GATE subjects are really important for placements perspective. So for my company, when it comes to Qualcomm, I know that they will be asking pretty good questions regarding CO. So regarding CO, I have followed Unacademy GATE videos which are available in the YouTube. So I followed that thing. And for operating system also, I have followed a bit of RBR as well as Unacademy and GATE crackers also. So similarly for the remaining subjects DBMS and CN, I have followed respective GATE channels and they helped me a lot.
So Narendra, you are been into a process of very good company, Qualcomm. Currently, like, is DSA relevant still in the placement process? How much of your thesis project is being tested in the interview, and how much of the DSA is being tested? Like, really, is that the case that really the companies were looking for a person who is equipped with these project skills, or are they looking for a person who is well equipped with these problem solving skills? What actually the company is looking in a particular student? Just give a overview of that aspect.
Yeah, coming on to this point, so it depends on the role on which company is hiring. Let us assume the company is hiring for SD, then they will be completely dwelling deep into the concepts of GATE as well as the DSA. So the main focus will be on DSA, which will be weighting around 80% for them. So they will be keep on testing how challenging questions he is able to answer all these things. And then the next thing is, in my case, my role is systems engineer at Qualcomm. So they did not want completely DSA type of student. So as I told, my interview lasted for 1 hour 20 minutes. So 80 minutes, which is basically the first 40 minutes was completely based on the core knowledge which I have on my thesis project. So which is related to accelerators. So they want to test me how deeply I have made the research work related to my project. And for 15 minutes or 10 minutes, I would say that they have went into the DSA. But it is pretty important for any particular job. So if you are going to a product based companies, so it's not like you will be having a fixed thing, or you will be having a fixed software, or you will be doing the same thing for 10 years or 15 years. You will be having challenging jobs day by day, or you will be facing few issues day by day. So they just want to check whether the student is capable of solving a new problem. So what a student can do in terms of new problem or new challenge, basically a coding questions which he hasn't solved till date. So that's why every company or everyone feels that DSA is pretty important when it comes to interview point. So they can test a person whether he is capable of adapting to a situation, or is he panicking when he sees a new problem which is not solved by him till date. So they need a parameter to judge him. So they will be giving a pretty good importance to DSA, but as well as this, they will be just checking the basics of computer science, how well he is good at the subject. And these two matter, like just algorithmic skills won't make a sense, right, unless you know how to do it perfectly. So even for checking this, they will be going into the deep concepts of computer science basics, everything. Along with this, when it comes to AML role, they will be checking how well he is able to build an algorithm, or how well he is coding in Python, or how capable he is understanding the libraries, all this stuff. So depending on the role, it matters how much DSA will be effective. But for every role, DSA is playing a crucial role to analyze a particular interviewee who is giving the interview.
So here I want to make a point that like if you are having a very good project like your thesis project, it will definitely give you a edge in selection process, I would say. Like on top of your DSA skills, if you are having a good project, it gives company they get a belief in you that you can work for the company in the real world projects. So it gives an edge at any day, I would say. So let's move on to the future plans of you. Like as you have secured a very good job here, like what are your future plans now, and how you want to go upon your future? Just give a brief of it.
So coming on to my future plans, so now I have secured a job. Now it's pretty good. But my future plans are like, I need to be really important aspect of the company. So what I can do for achieving that point? So I can work hard, I can be the best member of my team, and then I can move to a greater position from there. And there onwards, I can bring few good projects for the companies, and I can show good faith for the company. So as of now, my future goals like simple: just do the best wherever you go.
Let's go into the rapid fire questions. I'll be asking him some rapid fire questions. He'll answer in a single line typically. So Narendra, one incident that made you angry in IITG.
As I already mentioned, in my starting phase of my thesis project, I used to meet my sir regularly. But not even in one situation I have made him feel like, okay, this student is worthful. I have done really good amount of work, but I did not get the credit I deserve. So that made me really angry, and I used to look at what might be the mistake that I have committed in all these days. Did I make something wrong which is really impacting my thesis project, everything. So I used to be angry on myself basically, but it's okay.
So one worst day and best day in M.Tech life.
The best day would be obviously the day I got placed, and the worst day would be the day before which I got placed.
VIT versus IIT, which one you will choose?
So in most of the cases I would choose IIT.
If not M.Tech, what would you have done?
So if not, I would be pursuing a government job, and then later on I'd be trying for my civil services.
So it's very nice speaking to Narendra, and with this we'll conclude this interview, and nice talking to you, Narendra, and knowing from you. And I am sure like many people learn from you, and particularly that part of your transition from zero, having zero knowledge in DSA and getting into a knowledge where it is very high level, like to a top level DSA coder. It will definitely inspire many people out there.